Hey everyone, today I wanted to share my monthly favorites with you, and this is for the month of February. And I do actually have quite a bit to talk about, even though this is a slightly shorter month. Like, it makes a difference. It's like a 3-day difference at most. But anyway, I want to go ahead and start off with kind of in the order I put things on my face, because I did try to use as many of these things on camera for you right before filming. So a lot of these things are on my face, and I wanted to be able to like do some overlays and show you what I was using. So the first thing I've been enjoying is this Jones Road, the face pencil. So here's the thing. This reminds me of the Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage, but this is perfect for on the go or quick touch-ups because it does not require a brush. So the Secret Camouflage, you can use your fingers, but you can't really do that pinpoint sort of concealing, which I'll kind of go in here because I put more makeup on over that kind of rubbed it away. And it's just nice to be able to do some quick pinpoint concealing without looking overdone. Also though, since this is like a drier, waxier formula, you do need to have your skin moisturized or it's not gonna blend that well. So I have the shade 4, that's what I used on my face today, but I also have the shades 9, and I feel like I have another one around here somewhere too. Yeah, I was correct. So I have the shades 4, 7, and 9, which I'll go ahead and I'll swatch for you. And I tend to use 4 right here on my face, and then 7 and 9 tend to be a little bit kind of peachier, and sometimes I will use those around the blue in my eyes, just kind of depending on how deep my skin is. In the summer, I might be able to also use this one to cover blemishes, but yeah, you can tell here that this one's definitely more peachy. So that is my first favorite. Then the next is this, which actually surprised me because I tend to go for kind of like clear brow gels just because like the colored ones don't do a ton for me typically because I feel like I need to like color everything first and then set it in. But I decided to kind of go, I've been like messing with my brows and doing different methods. And I decided to go in first with this brow gel from Merit, and I have the shade Brown. It's just their volumizing pomade. And I go back and forth and I kind of work it into the brow, and then I shape it the best I can with the wand. And then I go in after with like a pencil, which it can be waxy or it can be any kind of pencil, and just kind of fill in those gaps. And then I'm using like 2 products instead of, sometimes I use 3 to 4 products at a time on my brows. And I think my brows look pretty good. I think it's a really great quick way to do your eyebrows. So I've actually been enjoying this way more than I ever thought I would. I always felt like these sorts of brow gels were for people who already had really great brows. So I didn't feel myself putting this on, but I will kind of insert what my skin looked like before I put on the other products. And I've been using this Naturium Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. So I bought this directly from the Naturium website when it first launched. And now I believe it's sold at Target, and there is a dip in the lid so that you can tell exactly how much you're supposed to put on your face. Mine obviously doesn't have that dip in the lid, but what I will say about the dip in the lid, I was chatting with somebody about this and I don't really like it because first you're pumping it into there and then you're scooping it out, and if you're not like sanitizing where you're pumping it before each use, you're then rubbing whatever bacteria is left here on your face each time. And I wish that there was just a way for them to kind of like regulate the pumps and just tell you how many pumps you need. I think that would be a lot easier than like moving the product from place to place before putting it on your face. But I do like it because it is moisturizing and it does leave a really beautiful kind of sheen on the skin. And I find that if I don't want to wear makeup or like a lot of makeup, I can literally put this on and it kind of gives kind of like that you just had a facial kind of glow. And I can go in and spot conceal with a pinpoint concealer, and then, you know, maybe like a chapstick and like do my brows and maybe a little mascara. And that's like a quick way to like just get out the door and not look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So I do really like that. I'm looking over here though, and I have a ton of different SPFs, and I feel like I use them all for different things because they all have different textures. So then the next thing is this from Hourglass. This is the Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And so I like this because it has like a skin-like sheen to it. So you can see I kind of have it on my skin now. And it sets everything into place. And it does kind of blur and mattify a little bit, but it still kind of gives you that sheen. I think I'll swatch a little bit here. I don't know if it's gonna, yeah, I have it swatched there. You can't really tell, but it still looks skin-like. And as you bring your hand across your skin, it does feel like everything's like set in place, but I think it still looks like skin. So I've really been enjoying that. I feel like after everything I show you, I'm like, so I've really been liking it. Obviously, these are my favorites. So sticking with Hourglass, I've actually been really loving this. This is from their holiday release. And I think this is probably the one that I didn't think I was gonna like the most. Like, I love the packaging of the tiger one, but that one turned out to be too deep for me, so I gave it away. This one is actually perfect though, because I use this multiple ways. So I like to mix together these two powders, which are ethereal light and diffused light, and kind of set under the eye. And sometimes if I want to make it a little bit shinier or like more glowy under the eye, I'll also put in this incandescent light, strobe light, and just kind of mix all three together and kind of set my under eyes. And then if I am not wanting this highlight to be too much, I actually mix this and this together to kind of dull down the highlight a little bit. If I'm wanting this blush to glow a little bit more, I'll kind of swipe between these two or these two. I actually mix these quite a bit, and I find that they all just blend seamlessly together. I'm like wearing it all over my face right now. So I was pleasantly surprised with this and how versatile it is, even though it looks like one highlighter, some setting powders, and two blushes. It doesn't have the bronzers that the other ones had in it. But just the way I'm able to mix these, I think it's super versatile. And then for bronzer, I've been loving the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess. And this is the shade 01 Light. It is a kind of, it's obviously a matte bronzer, and it is barely darker than my skin tone, but I think it's just right so I don't look overly bronzed. I think it looks really great. And it does kind of meld in really nicely with the other products I have going on, to where it's not over mattifying or overly shimmery. I feel like it just really goes well with everything else. All right, so into eyeshadows. So I know for a fact that one of these is no longer available, but I'm not sure about this one. So this is from Dior, and this is their Eye Quint in the color, what is it, 559 Poncho. And this is just a really nice collection of like neutral golden browns. I would say this is more like warm golden, but this is definitely kind of like a neutral golden shade. And it's my favorite between them all. I literally just get it and I put it under and I kind of buff it over the lid. And every now and then, if I'm feeling like a little bit, you can tell that like this and this is hardly used. But if I'm wanting to define the eye a little bit, they blend really well, they look really nice, but it's all about the center color here, which there is a swatch of it. It's just barely deeper, again, than my skin tone, and it just is like a nice nuanced sort of golden brown shade. And then what I like to put over it, kind of on the inner corner towards like the center of the lid, is this Burberry eyeshadow in the shade Shell. And this has been long discontinued. It's one of my all-time favorite eyeshadows. And you probably see a lot of people on YouTube talking about wet look shadows. This is literally the only wet look shadow that I have ever used that actually looks wet without tons and tons of glitter. Every other wet look shadow that anybody has ever mentioned is just nothing but glitter. And so this is a beautiful finely milled, there we go, shimmery shadow. I mean, it's smooth, it's very thin, finely milled. And I mean, I already did swatches in the thing. I don't know, I'm redoing it. But it's gorgeous. And it has like a really beautiful kind of like peachy beige undertone. And so you can sometimes get that kind of look with the highlighter, and I've just found that the only way I'm going to be able to get that look that's not that shadow is with a highlighter. So if you're looking for something that looks similar on the lid, this is from Chanel, which again, I don't know if this is available either, but you could probably still, with a sort of more peachy beige highlighter shade, accomplish the same thing. This is in Metal Peach. And again, side by side, they look very similar. They have kind of like that peachy beige undertone. So there it is. You can definitely tell though, the Burberry is still a little bit more shiny, but I feel like you could get the same effect with a highlighter. So if you missed out on this when it came out, or if you had it and you used it up or got rid of it, because honestly, I kind of should get rid of it because it's so old, but I'm not gonna. This might be a really good option for you. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is this mascara, and it's from Neogen, I guess is how you would say the name. And I really like this mascara because it is sweat-proof and waterproof, and it does not budge. But there's also a catch to that because none of my makeup removers remove it. I had to buy their specific makeup remover, which is this, to be able to get it off my eyes. And so that's kind of a bummer, especially since half the time I look on the website, that eye makeup remover is not even available. So I need to find out maybe something else that would remove this so I don't get in a pickle. But I really love it because like nothing takes this off. It holds curl to my lashes. It still looks natural. This has the same applicator as the Curator thing from Hourglass, and I was so curious about it that I actually did go out and I purchased the Hourglass Curator, which they sell separate from the mascara. So I also had to buy the mascara, and this lash tool is literally like $80, whereas then you can find this online anywhere between $15 and $30, which I found to be interesting. But then here is the Hourglass one. I haven't been able to use it because I ordered it with the mascara and they shipped them separate. So I don't know, like, I'm sure at some point I'll get it. But anyway, I really love this. I'm wondering if the Hourglass is similar, but maybe easier to remove. And that's why I was curious about it, because the only downside to this mascara is that it's like impossible to remove. I will say though, if you're a makeup artist and you do makeup for weddings, you can literally clean this between each dip in, keep it sanitary so you don't have to keep reusing like those disposable wands. And I think that would be a really good option if you're trying to minimize the amount of tools you're taking with you. And also if you just don't want to keep throwing away those plastic applicators because it's wasteful. So that's a really good option here. All right, so then I've been using this from Beauty Pie. I found that my skin this month is bonkers. Like, you can probably see all the little spots around my neck, and I can't figure out what's causing it. I'm assuming it's hormonal since it is around my neck and chin. And my neck is super sensitive, so I have no idea what's causing it, but my skin was also feeling a little bit dull and dry. So I started using this again, where I just apply a little bit of cleanser, and I've also been applying that Tatcha rice powder to it and kind of cleaning my face to kind of help exfoliate. And I've really been liking it. I don't even know if Beauty Pie still sells this, but essentially it's like a little like sort of silicone nubbed thing. Let me see if I can turn it on. It's like a vibrator. But I find, yeah, it's totally a vibrator. I swear they have like a vibrator engine in here. Because if you are, here's the thing, if you're applying your face wash, are you really going to need it to pulse? I swear that this just has a vibrator engine in it. Engine? Motor? I don't know. I don't think it's an engine. I have a couple hair things to mention. So the first one is this, and this is from Revlon, and You can see like my hair's in it and it's kind of gross. But I don't like using it to dry my hair. I know a lot of people were using that when their hair was wet, but your hair is so fragile when it's wet. It does not make a lot of sense to apply heat and pull on your hair at the same time. So I don't use it for that. But what I have been using it for is I usually shower at night and then just sleep on my hair. And then like the next morning I get up and it's all over the place. I actually use it just to kind of run through and to straighten because I find that if I just go in with a straightener, the ends are kind of like stick straight and it doesn't look that good. But if I go through with that, I feel like my ends look more natural. And I really like that. I'm 100%, it's probably still breaking off my hair, but not as bad if I were to do it when my hair is like wet. Also, it only takes me about 2 to 3 minutes to do all of my hair. It might take somebody with more hair more time, but it's like the quickest way to make my hair presentable. And I've also been taking it with me to Army because I have to wear my hair in a bun all day, and then I take the bun out and it's like all kinky, and instead of actually washing my hair, I can literally just throw that through it and it straightens my hair and it looks good, and I can then wear my hair down. So then the other hair item I want to talk about is something that I am a little bit ashamed to have purchased, but I'm glad that I did. So these hairpins, I saw them on TikTok, and I had actually used these hairpins first, and these are the Kristen S hairpins. And I noticed that like it was a little bit like these are a little bit flimsy and they didn't want to stay in my hair that well. And you can kind of also see here, they're like, you know, super flimsy. And sometimes I would also put it in and I felt like it was like tearing my hair a little bit. And I heard that these are way better and you don't get that feeling. So as you can see, this does not squeeze together. It still has that nice curve to it, but like you can't really move it. It's just a higher quality hairpin. So I got it. It stays in place in my hair and I love it. But then I was like, you know what? This one sometimes seems a little bit too big because I have a bob and I saw that she had the minis. So again, they're sold separate and they're not cheap. I'll have the prices on the screen and I'll have these linked below, but these are not cheap, but I will say the quality is there. So like essentially, if I'm just trying to get stuff done, or I just want like a chic kind of updo, I'll like kind of throw my hair up like this. It's not gonna be good because I'm like not looking at the thing. And I don't have a brush here. And I'll use the two little ones and I kind of go in like this and then that. And that'll hold it in place, but when it's small like that, let me see if I can like turn around. That'll hold it in place, but when it's small like that, I actually then like to also go in on the other side and push the other one in. And then, let me see. I don't know if you can see. This is, okay. So hopefully you're able to see that. I won't know until I edit, but I just think it's so chic. And I was just able to like throw my hair up quickly, and I like that the gold kind of pokes out a little bit. So I do wish that on their website though that they gave more instruction on how to use these, that maybe they just assumed though that people, which they do have, like they sent a little thing, which I have, so let me not criticize yet. So they, they sent a thing that says for more styling tips and tutorials, check out like the website, and then also like here. So maybe I'll check them out and see if there's like more tutorials. I just wasn't really finding anything on the website, but maybe I wasn't looking in the right spot because they do say that. But I don't want to say it's worth the price because it's super expensive. But if you've been wanting this to work for you and it's not, it might be worth trying these out. These are so high quality and heavy duty, like, and they're like heavy. They're just beautiful pieces. I'm gonna have these forever. And then the last things I want to talk about are fragrances. I have two this month that I've been loving. The first one is the Santal 33. And I just like it. It's like an easy grab. Actually, both of these are easy grabs for this month. if I can't figure out what I want to wear, it's usually one of these two things recently that I've just been grabbing and spraying on. So I really love this. This is obviously a sandalwood scent, and I found myself recently, depending on what sandalwood is mixed with, I always thought I loved sandalwood, but there have been a few fragrances recently that are sandalwood dominant that I do not like. But this one I absolutely love. I'll have all the notes and everything on the screen for you. And then the other one, you can see I've actually been using quite a bit of it because I've been dousing myself in this before work every day. This is Lake and Sky 1111 Eau de Parfum. And this one's a weird one. It's like one of those non-perfume perfumes, similar to like Juliet Has a Gun, or, you know, one of those. But this has aldehydes, musk, and amber in it. And I don't want to say it smells like hair products or like bath products, but it smells like you would smell had you just taken a shower, bath, or had done your hair, and you just smell nice because of it. It just smells so good. And I was really surprised that I liked it, and especially this much. This isn't typically my thing. Normally aldehydes don't do it for me, but in this mixture I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, those are all of my favorites for the month. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know below what your favorites have been. I'm always curious what other people are loving, and I find it so funny because like I used to watch people's YouTube videos to find out what they've been loving, and now I feel like people are basing their favorites off of sponsored content. Like I just, it feels like everybody has the same favorites all the time. And so it makes me feel like, you know, there's like a little sponsorship, a sneaky sponsorship going on. But maybe it's a coincidence. But if you regular people out there that are not getting paid money will want to tell me what your favorites are, I would love that. So anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.